Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is at the scienceoffantasyfootball.com. Looking at Thursday night, week 2, Philadelphia, Minnesota. Looking at my defense against positions and matchup in the context of what Vegas may be thinking. So I kind of use that to frame the what's the concept that Vegas is taking of the game. I give an example. This was last week's data, but you can see KC Detroit game heading favorite, underdog, right? Favorite dog, favorite score, dog score, the spread, the over-under, the shootout levels when the game is. So we're obviously looking for high scoring games, right? That's just, better for PPR goodness and getting points. So we're want to try to shoehorn kind of our close selections towards higher scoring games. Unless you've got, weather or something else is changing what's going on, but you're basically, if you're going too far away from what Vegas is thinking, you need to have some good reasons. The Daps here, and let me close that. The Daps here, I have the table as well underneath the Vegas information. So easy versus tough, right? You want easy, assuming the best situation for player groups. Tough is the worst situation. Range of outcomes should be more favorable in easy versus tough DAP. So this is probably not for your studs, but for those flex or tough decisions, right? Streaming decisions, this can help, right? Get you some concepts. So you got the team, the opponent, and I colorize the opponent green to red, so you know it's easy or not, right? Green is good, red not so good. Home and away, some teams are more sensitive to home or away situations. We'll get into that. We will study that data later when we start getting enough games under our belt to start making some, speculations. So overall DAP, just kind of what is the flavor that each team is facing as far as the opponent's defense. Is it easy or tough and somewhere in between? Then I look at rushing or the running back DAPs, then the quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, kind of the passing, then you have place kicker and defense. So for streaming, you definitely look at the DAPs for the place kicker and defense as well. So for tonight, then Philly, Minnesota. I haven't checked the latest line. This was a day or so, but I'm not sure it's too different. Philadelphia 31, Minnesota 17. It's what Vegas is saying. The spread is a touchdown. Over and under is 48, so it's above average, so there should be some points scored. With the caveat, it's a Thursday game. And all these foreign games, Mexico, Germany, England, Thursday night, I always get the sense that there are points left on the table, and I'm never satisfied. It's not like, wow, I got everything I could get out of that game my team did. So I always have that feeling in the back of my head. So I take Thursday and all these foreign situations that we'll run across a little bit less than the normal Sunday rhythm that players and teams get into. But anyway, they think Philadelphia just cleans house with Minnesota. My gut feeling is Philadelphia doesn't score as many points. I think a lot of people are going the under. And so, based on what we saw, uh, it was underwhelming, Philadelphia, last week. So I just don't know what we're going to see. But first game out of the box, we'll see what's going on that way. So Minnesota is away. The Philadelphia opponent tough. The overall tough. Everything is below average or tough, like the kicker. So there's no sweet spots, no situation that you want to go in. You're certainly not benching Jefferson, that kind of thing. Certainly Hawkinson. But just know that this, if you're kind of thinking the Ouija board here, the vibe is less than usual. This could be a below median kind of game for some of those, but you can't lead your studs on the bench, but just your expectations need to be tempered. So you shouldn't be overly surprised if Jefferson doesn't score multiple touchdowns, that kind of thing. So there's nothing that this data would argue Minnesota wins the game. That's interesting. Thursday. But again, things are so chaotic early in the season, you just never know. I don't bet Vegas, so I don't really focus on these lines other than just giving me some ideas about the shootout levels and just kind of what the opinions are. I like to have that. Philadelphia, on the other hand, against Minnesota, it's all easy gravy. Running backs, QB, wide receivers, tight ends, kickers, defense. You play them all. So there's nothing in this data that would keep me from playing my wide receivers, tight ends, kickers, D. The only controversy I have is the running backs. Just, I think Gainwell's out, so you wonder, is the split going to be favorable for Swift, or what's going to go on here? It's not as straightforward as this might suggest, but if you in a flex and you're looking, Swift could be a play. But remember, if it's Thursday night, you move them in the main slot. You move them out of your flex. But that's just the idea. That's the only, I guess, controversy that I see. I am a pessimist, so if I seem to be kind of down, that's just my flavor, the way I kind of view some of this stuff. I try not to get too enthusiastic. But anyway, that's what I see, is you play them all with some deeper thinking into the running backs from Philly. Minnesota, you play your studs, but, expectation could be, we could get lower than we want. So, it seems to be an interesting game on paper. And my feeling, and this is not algorithms, just given it's a Thursday, it might be closer than what we think, because it's a Thursday, because Philly, what they did first week, what Minnesota did, they may be closer than we think, but I'm not sure they'll hit 48. But, I wouldn't risk the mortgage on it either. Okay, that's my 9 minutes, 40 seconds of funness. I hope this helps you at least think about things. We did talk about this on our Data Lab, did we? Or the Science of Fantasy Football podcast. Check those out at the scienceoffantasyfootball.com. Plus my target report Dennis's waiver wire. There's a lot of background and information there. And then I think he's got his weekly values coming out as well. So check all that out. It's all goodness. Okay, we will talk about and have a podcast about the weekend games coming up, hopefully by Saturday. Take care. Woo woo.